And welcome back to NA Masters 1 Week 2. After we just saw one team eliminated, we've got another match coming up in just a minute here between LG and Envy to see who's going to be continuing on in the lower bracket to face off against Gen G later on in the tournament. My name is Bach. I'll be your host throughout the show. Joining me on the broadcast, Belly, Potter, and Van Silly. That first match, we were just saying, I don't think a lot of us would have predicted Gen G to pick that series up. But Veli, you felt confident coming into it that they were going to be the kings of that one.
Yeah, no, honestly, I like 100 Thieves a lot. I just feel like when it comes to their comp and the way that they play, there's a lot more that they need to mesh out. But also on the other end, I mean, you got to be crazy to bet against Gen G the way they've been playing. And that aggressive jet play just happened to come up at a time where they needed it most. And it was kind of unfortunate for 100 Thieves because they got away from the jet play. But then both of the games that they lost were due to crazy jet play. So, I mean, that's just the way the dice roll, right?
That is unfortunate there for 100 Thieves. Gen G, a young team, very much on the rise. We've actually seen that as the storyline throughout most of the VCT, is these newer teams or newer rosters really clicking and coming together, looking at teams like LG, like Immortals, who was unfortunately eliminated. But these teams, their stocks are on the rise, and who knows stocks better than the king of stonks for Envy? Riot had a chance to sit down with MummAy to talk to him about his journey as a player. Let's take a look.
When I worked on Wall Street, I was a systems engineer. For a crazy trading day, it's hectic. You know right from the start it's gonna be a crazy trading day because you come in and you already see the alerts are going off. The trading floor was like a hallway down and like into another room. You would hear everyone yelling and screaming, and there's a lot of sound cues, a lot of alerts to look at, and you have to stay glued to your monitors and make sure that you're there to do things and to react. When you're having a heavy trading day, you're dealing with money, and then in a match in VALORANT, you want to win. You know, like you still have the same competitive hunger as a trader. He's trying to win. He's trying to make a good trade, make a lot of money for the company. And in VALORANT, it's the same. You know, I'm trying to win. I want to make a name for my team. I want my team to be the top. And nothing feels better than winning a big match. You know, we won the last challenges, and it feels great. It feels great to put in the work and be able to win and have that.
You don't have to ask. Oh, and now going in with a MummAy entering back with knife of his own, finds three. Now needs to find a couple more. Down to the last two, down to the last one for Dom. God damn. Over and by his lonesome, lower HP, but they can just stick the spike. It's not toxic form, and they're going to do just that. That's
what a play. Holy cow. There's no real analysis needed other than what MummAy just did.
Growing up in Brooklyn, I had a lot of friends that we just roam the streets, see what trouble we can get into, see where we can have some fun, play some stickball, skateboard around. Everyone was competing, everyone was trying to one-up each other, everyone was trying to figure out who's the best at this, who's the best at that. We're trying to like learn a kickflip before anyone else learns a kickflip. Everyone's trying to like prove themselves. So I felt compelled to be competitive from growing up in Brooklyn. My brother Johnny, he always was into video games. He was always competitive. I never could play because I was 5 at the time, 6, and he's 11, 12, 13, and he's playing with his friends and he's having fun, and I'm watching him sitting on the floor on the carpet, just looking up at the chair, watching him play, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I wish I could play these games. And we only had one computer, so as soon as I would get home from school, I would hop on the computer before he would get home, and then I would try to figure out how much time I have left, what could I do, could I mimic what he's doing, and ever since then I've grown to love it. When I first played Counter-Strike and I actually wanted to become the best at it, I was destroying people and I felt like I wanted to make a career out of this, so I always said to myself, I'm gonna go as far as I go until I hit a wall. So I competed until I hit the wall. I was kind of at a crossroads where it's like, all right, do I get a real job? So my brother, once again, John, he also studied computer science. And his first job was on Wall Street, where I began working as well. And I loved it. It was intense, you know. They were always moving, you know. Everything was breathing for them. They were always trying to to make money. They really didn't have free time. They were just constantly figuring out what they needed to do to improve the infrastructure or to improve the services that they're trading on. Like, just get a step ahead in the game that they're in. Nick was a trader. He was just this big, like, 6'4" guy that was always standing at his desk because he had a standing desk with 6 monitors, and he was just yelling across the room. And I unplugged one of his DisplayPort cables by accident, and he was like, "What happened? My monitor went out. Can you fix it? Anthony, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh shit, Nick, my bad. But it's like those split seconds that you make these mistakes, it's like it can cost the company millions. It was always like an intense environment in that sense. For me, I wasn't really intimidated by it because I was used to it from playing Counter-Strike. I played a competitive game. I was on a team. I understand what it's like to work in a team environment. I understand what it's like to adapt. I understand all this stuff that makes you a premier person in work or a person in that world, in the CS world. And I fit in. They were big into video games. They played everything, and they were just so intrigued by it. They would watch me. The CTO and the CEO would watch me and play my matches, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool, all right." And then sometimes I would get destroyed, and they're like, "Oh, it happened. That's not my day." You know, it was just like funny banter for them. Like, they enjoyed it because I guess they had that same competitive mindset, so it just fit hand in hand. Then I got laid off. You know, the company wasn't doing well, and I wasn't a vital asset to the company at that point in time. COVID came out, and it slowed the rate of me looking for a job. I was kind of just like, you know what? Maybe let me just hold off, see what else I can do. My friend had texted me, my friend Khalid, and he's like, "VALORANT's coming out." I was kind of like, wow, this looks awesome. So let me just give it a go. Let me see what I can do with it. I played the game, and I just said to myself, I'm just gonna become a pro at this. I'm not gonna look for another job. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it my all.
Fire up the flames.
With Counter-Strike, I was much younger, and I didn't really give it my fullest because I was still learning about what that means to give it your fullest. So after working on Wall Street and learning from people and learning about myself, I said, hey, let me play VALORANT at a level that I think I can compete in. Let me try to teach myself what it means to be a professional. We're always trying to commit the extra hours, stay in the server for an extra couple hours and figure out variations of things and adaptations in certain situations, knowing when to select that pathway in this situation, in that split-second moment, to make that round important, to make a round win for your team.
Go blind and
Off guard, going for a day, and so far, boy opens with the kill. MummAy though.
baddest in the game.
Get his last guy in time. Android gonna have a lot of work to do. Coach.
MummAy?
This map is so huge.
You don't have to
Corners.
Oh! You know I have it. I goddamn have it.
In these important matches, what separates winning and losing is these hectic moments.
To get some information that one is playing up towards heaven, possibly two. They are up there. Zam gets first on the side. I'm going to take him down. It's MummAy on the jet this time around. You pointed it out.
When you can think through these hectic moments and communicate to your team and hit the shot. That's what's important.
We're more clutch than this jet right here as he swings on through. MummAy will find three.
And that's how I approach the game.
Looking at MummAy, I think the thing that I respect the most about him in that video is he says, I didn't honestly give CS my all. Now, that's something that's hard to admit for a player, to be kind of like, you know what, I kind of half-assed CS and I did okay. But then he pours himself into VALORANT and he gets to this level. And that just shows with what hard work you can actually accomplish great things. Looking at his counterpart, though, on the other side, Belly, we've got your boy Dre, who's going to be playing the Omen on the flip side, another player who has done quite well in recent history.
We're not talking about just an Omen player anymore, right? We're talking about a Raze player and a Jet as well. And you know what's special about your boy Dre, and people aren't calling it out, but Sentinels lost a map on Split, and we saw how that went against other teams, but not against Luminosity. Your boy Dre, he's the fire starter on this team, going 15-7 on the attack half to come back while being down 4-8 to win that map ultimately against what, the best team in the game, Sentinels, right? They have like Jesus on that roster now. That's insane. You look at this roster as a whole though, they have big strengths and big weaknesses. I think their strengths is the fact that they're underrated and the fact that Moose is just out of control, right? He can pop off at any time as long as he hits the showstopper in his zone. Next is Thief. But also it's the fact that their map pool is really low. We take a look at other maps like Split. They have a lot of open lanes, a lot of misdirections when it comes to rotations, and that's the only thing that bothers me with Luminosity right now. Other than that, I think that they're solid, man.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned it as well, Veli. These teams played head-to-head twice already, and it split up 1-1. But the match that mattered the most, the one that had them qualify basically to the Masters, it was LG that won. That was off the back of Moose, as you mentioned before, because on Bind, he was the type of player that was able to step it up. There's a potential that going into these maps, Bind could still be in play. And if he could play and step up like he did along with your boy Dre, then that's going to be an LG win, potentially.
Maps matter. They always matter. Let's see where this series is going to be headed, because that's going to change the way we feel about this as a whole. Looking at the map selection here, Potter, we're going to be starting off on Haven with LG, and then Ascent for Envy's pick. Third map's going to be Bind. This is a map that works out really nicely for Envy. I'd say the pool in general does kind of skew their direction, Potter.
Yeah, it definitely does, because if we think back on the upsets, well, quote-unquote upsets that LG had over the last week, it was on Split and it was on Icebox. So the fact that both of those are kind of out of the picture, I would say sets LG back just a little bit, but I gotta say LG are just one of those exciting teams to watch. They've absolutely converted me over this last week. The fact that they have so much flex potential, all these different agents that they're busting out, a Proto on the Raze sometimes. We got your boy Dre debuting on Jet, just shing shing shing, getting all the headshots across the board, right? And I have to highlight a Proto once more. The man's has a 48% headshot percentage.
Oh,
yeah, that's crazy.
These stats are mind-blowing stats, and we've seen it, right? We've seen his share of play come out, saving LG time and time again. So this is the series that I was most excited about today.
Series.
Definitely, because even Haven leaving that in the map pool, because in the past we've always said, okay, LG bans it, but they left it versus Immortals, and that's where they brought in that surprise Dre playing as Jet. We'll see if Envy could be prepared for that, and you know what? I have to say that they are, because I have Envy to win the whole tournament.
Luminosity, Bach.
Already jumping into the predictions, we might as well go for it. Zaveli, you're saying LG? LG's taking this one?
All the way. I've been rocking with LG since they were in Tier 2. This team is going to win. I believe them. I think their playstyle matches Envy so well. The only positive is that they're not scared to be aggressive. So I think they're going to pull this off 2-1.
Potter? Quick.
I've got to go with LG as well. The fearlessness coming out from LG. I think we're going to see it again here today. I'm going with LG.
And silly, we don't even have to ask you. We know you're picking Envy, so it's totally fine. You're a homer. I think it's going to be LG, but we have to jump into the action to see if we're correct. DDK, Sean, prove us right or prove Vansilly wrong.
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm a CS lover. That's the background. I feel like Envy's the pick. It's the way to go. I feel like those LG pickers are crazy. What do you think, Sean?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. I do side with Envy. Part of me does, but LG is such, an underdog, a dark horse, very similar to Gen G. I have those two teams right next to each other. So would it shock me if LG had a performance exactly like Gen G? Not at all. But I will say this, when I watch LG compared to Gen G has made massive strides at becoming a strategic team. They put in tons of work to anti-shot that win, and Gen G would have to do something similar, which I haven't seen from them yet, but that's not to say it's not possible. I mean, these guys are highly skilled, and they got here for a reason.
All right, well, talk me through the agent selects. Are we seeing anything unusual? Because I know Luminosity tends to play pretty standard on Haven. I don't think there's anything too particularly noteworthy necessarily. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are absolutely right. LG is one of those teams that they have their comps and they pretty much are going to stick to those comps, right? There are some exceptions where they tinker with Killjoy a little bit on Icebox, but you're always going to see a Proto on, you're always going to see him on Cypher. We're now seeing your boy Dre on Jet. I mean, he said that was his first time playing Jet, really, on that last Haven game, but apparently he's just a that talent, right? Like, this guy is incredible. He can pick up an agent because he's so mechanically gifted. An agent like Jett allows him to shine, and I love that they're letting him do this, because it's hard to do this in this game as an in-game leader, to give your star players freedom. You always want to kind of restrict them into strats, and they're not doing that with Thief and your boy Dre on LG, which could, I mean, that could hurt them or it could help them a lot in this matchup.
And on the side of things of Envy, looks pretty standard as well, and I don't think there's anything too unusual in terms of the composition. So what is going to be the win condition here for Luminosity? You know, they're definitely the underdog going against Envy. How do they win Haven? What do they need to do right?
I honestly think it's going to be all on Bobby Axelrod. I mean, MummAy over there on that Omen. I don't know if you watch the show Billions, but so I really think he needs to have a lot of success on the operator. He gave up the Jett role when they picked up, you know, when Food and Crashies joined this team. He made a huge sacrifice as the opper for the team to step back, become a support player in Omen, but also still op. He still ops a lot on this Omen role, more so than any other Omen in NA. And if he can find success in that role against the loose style of LG, Envy will roll through this matchup.
And here we go. Map 1 between Luminosity and Envy in the lower bracket. The loser is eliminated in this best of 3. We start things off on Haven here with Luminosity on this attack. On the pistol, hitting that A site pretty hard, it looks like, and Finesse playing in the cage, but we're going to get Cypher on Cypher action, and Proto knows the tricks of the trade, and it will be a plant here coming through for the side of Luminosity. Envy on that retake. And Caboose, maybe with the timing, but no, it's a Proto who actually finds the timing on him. That's not a good look here for the retake.
No, this retake is quickly becoming less and less likely for Envy. Find themselves in a 3-on-5, 2-on-5, 1-on-5. Everyone's dead, Dan. No,
like a count from Sesame Street. Just missing the at the end of it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm back in the kitchen right now with Ella, teaching her how to count down.
Yeah, just making this a very accessible show, an educational show.
Yeah, that was a great A hit though, coming out of Luminosity, baiting the Jett's movement. You'd see they just sent your boy Dre to break that trip short A, and a Proto with the perfect distance supporting him takes out FNS. Fell perfectly into the bait, and now we're heading into round 2. Envy's gonna full save here.
Revealing area.
So looking at some mid aggression coming through, the typical stuff, the cage, we're going to see that on A lobby a lot, but the walk into B, I mean, this is totally open, and they would be so correct because there's nobody home playing the retake scenario. And normally on a gun round, you'd be like, well, this is very awkward to hold this plant, but because they're against an ecoing team, it actually is a lot easier.
That's a Vandal.
Oh my god. It's
Ooh, they have to guard that weapon.
Yeah. Looking pretty nice on the ground. And Finesse is going to be able to take that control around A main. It's looking a little bit scary. We talked about how difficult it can be to hold this site, and it will go ultimately fairly well. 3 players left standing. The Vandals collected by Thief. So 2-0 for Luminosity.
Yeah, and that might be a little bit of a vision into the future of this matchup, right? Your boy Dre, I'm going to praise him all series long. This guy is insanely talented. Like, we will see him hit ridiculous shots, but he's taking the fight to his opponents all the time, and he can get caught off. Like, playing aggressive in that smoke with a Vandal on an eco round all by yourself, that's a huge risk, right? That could have gone the other way. It didn't burn him there. I like what I'm seeing out of him early, confidence-wise. It's the same thing as Pistol, Dan. They just group outside of A. They wait for this initial control of Envy to subside, and now we're literally doing the same strat.
It's good though. Food was able to pick up the Orbies on the site as well. Try to help out here. It's going to be difficult though. Crashies! That's a great start though. A quick 2K, and oh my god, they can't get in. That is a huge fail in terms of Luminosity finding any entries, but what a great success. Crashies getting those 2 initial kills. That just kills the momentum into the site, and well, I mean, that's really interesting. Luminosity perhaps will have to be a bit more, have a few more dimensions to the rounds.
Yeah, maybe that went a little bit different than how we saw it the first time. That was crazy. That went totally opposite of the pistol round. You can see FNS not getting caught on short A doesn't allow, you know, the whole house of cards to come collapsing down in the A site. And Envy just you know, solidly held their crossfires. LG never got even close to the site. Cam to keep eyes on mid right there from a Proto, so he has vision even though mid window's smoked. You can see he has a lot of knowledge about this mid aggression right now. It's going to make Thief feel pretty comfortable peeking this window in a second. And from the looks of things, we might be gathering for a B hit.
Food has been harvesting those orbs as well. He's now got the run it back available thanks to that. So something to bear in mind as well, as mid is being worked on here by Luminosity. And having Crashies so deep in short is actually huge as well, because the drone's going to come through and he's going to actually fall back out. He just is able to take the drone down, but that kind of allows Envy to know that there's not really much going on towards A. So now you can see they're drifting towards B and C, knowing that that's where the round is likely to finish here for Luminosity.
Yeah, Envy has a great read on this round. We've said it before when we watched their Haven, FNS, with the reads on the stacks. He's all over it.
He's looking for the spots for those recons, and he's going to be able to find the kill through the cloud burst. It's looking pretty difficult. Envy have backside control. It's huge. They take down your boy Dre. The duelist is gone out of the picture. Thief, though, is the duelist that it remains, and he's doing a good job here, keeping this round alive for his team. Caboose sitting in the dark cover, playing that close range. A Proto, though, he knows better, and his trades upon trades are now just down to a Proto. He's in the 1v1. No time to work with, though. He's going to be forced to plant the spike. He has no time. It's over, and that was very well played by Envy. The Proto, nothing he can do there in the end.
They made you weak.
Oh, when he came into that dark cover, I thought he would be at such a disadvantage. He just comes in and frags. Was that Caboose? Just
yeah.
The star duelist waiting for the Cypher to come into the dark cover just gets completely outreacted and gunned down. Holy cow, what an insane frag from a Proto to even make that round winnable. Whew. But Envy's not, you know, in a safe territory yet. They lost a lot of members right there. I mean, their economy isn't looking good. So even though only sheriffs are in play other than a Proto, very dangerous round here.
We've got MummAy on that operator, looking for that peak from grass to mid to B. And he, as you mentioned before, MummAy on that Omen operator is going to be a problem. Gets the tag, the leg shot onto Thief, or maybe it was just through the wall. Either way, Thief is down to 5 HP. And looks like Luminosity will collect themselves here, looking to perhaps gain position together. The smoke on C window, but they're actually going to be. And the trip is on Garage, so right now, Envy have a good sense of what's happening. They're giving up the B site because they're happy to retake this if necessary. Caboose spots an opportunity, though, takes down your boy Dre. Spike's getting planted, but Caboose is right there. He's going to take Thief down, and they've got to be careful here, Sean. It's
like I said, we're 3-on-3, Dan. The Cypher ult comes in. All of the info is now known.
Well, they're going to go to the A site, and here comes MummAy. Is he going to find the cross in time? Oh, he just misses the timing, and that's the Spike now going to go down. Food coming up on the flank from A long. I don't think they're going to have any idea of his position. Completely unaware of Proto. And that's going to be the end of him. And there's no one ready to protect the Spike. And the wall is there for Food. He can wall off spawn if he wants. And just stick the defuse. MummAy has the cover. Difficult spot for start. If he can get the operator out of the hands of MummAy, that would be a big window. And he's able to take him down. Defuse is coming through. Someone's going to try to make a go of this. Out comes the Sheriff, and they're going to give him the respect. They're going for the swing. Stellar's actually alive still.
I don't see how Stellar managed to get through this, though, Dan. Yeah, very well played from Envy right there. Not giving Stellar the fights that he really needs to win that round. You know, taking jiggles here and there, and then sticking the Spike, you know, when it's fully secure and he has jumped away to A-Link. Envy looks like they've managed to settle down and find full control in this game.
Yeah,
MummAy is becoming a little bit more activated with this op roll. He's going to push short A here, Dan, and potentially shut down the A hit that we've seen Luminosity have some success with.
Three-man setup there on C, so maybe see Food walking down C long. Recon there as well, pretty deep. So that's going to assist Food's push. And you can see that Luminosity have a sense of what that probably means. Food just has positioning cubby, not looking to go any further, but that's still great information. It does allow FNS, if he wants to leave C completely. He's got his eyes on Garage as well, but there is a trip there also. So right now, MV have a lot of control.
Yeah, I really dislike this from LG, but this drone will spot Food. Actually, it gets taken out by FNS. I mean, we've seen this set up a lot in pro play, so they should be aware, but I'm a little disappointed by LG's lack of map control. I mean, they give up mid, they give up A main, and they give up C. Now they're going into so many unknowns. They're just going to have to shoot their way out of this.
Sometimes that's just how they like it. Food, those going to be able to take down your boy Drain. And just as you said, no awareness at all of this position. And huge problem, that lack of info. And Flash comes through. He doesn't have to do anything, just has to survive in that position. They can't push forwards, and they've been trying to go into this A site. But the trade comes through onto MummAy. There's still players around that can slow things down here. We'll get those nades coming in from Caboose, surely. Though actually, it's a little bit further than I thought. Working the heaven position, but it's crashes, delaying the spike with the ults. And the buy time for rotation.
Though, Dan, that's a big find, making this a 4-on-2. Food proving his star potential. These last two players are just locked in the site. They need to fight their way out.
Very tough position. Backs against the wall. In comes the might of Envy. Fella takes down one, but Caboose easily dispatching the remainder. And there goes the defuse, and Envy looking pretty good. And as you say, Sean, we would have liked to maybe have seen more from Luminosity. They actually made that round look kind of doable despite being in such a terrible kind of early and mid-round position, but ultimately Envy on top.
Yeah, they did. They managed to claw back into it. But I'm not very optimistic on how they spread out across the map. And even on the pistol, they're kind of slow to the A take. And you could see by the third round, Envy has already figured out how to counter that A take. So is LG going to get map control? Because again, they're all in the same spot right now in spawn. No one's putting pressure A. No one's putting pressure C. And this isn't a good look unless they just win every duel.
Food continuing to farm that long A orb. And he's never really been denied that, Sean. That's definitely an opportunity for Luminosity, but it's just free value for Envy so far.
Yeah, and he's got the second run it back of the half already. He's on pace to... He might pull off 4 this half. That would be ridiculous if we see 4 run it backs in one half.
Taking down that camp, but the trip is there as well. The trip has been left up in many of these rounds in Garage. And I'm going to see Caboose holding onto this position. The trip's finally... Actually is still in play, it seems, in Garage. So that's really helpful. If they try to rush down Caboose, he can get one, he can fall back, and the trip will catch the second.
Dan, like, there's so many options for Caboose right now in this garage position. His smoke is off. Oh, dear. This is a bad smoke. And another trip from B. They haven't even taken care of this yet.
30 seconds, and they're going to go for the push into the B site. Food again, as you said, run it back is available. Although he might not get a chance to use it. The dash comes through from your boy Dre with the judge. A Proto finds one onto Finesse. And despite how grim some of these scenarios look and the options for Envy, they're on the back foot pretty heavily right now and have to retake this B site. Caboose opens things up. The showstopper could be pulled out, but your boy Dre with the swing. And it's, he is just owning everybody at the moment. And MummAy has to save this operator. There's no other choice.
That's unreal, Dan. It looked like Envy was set up so well. Your boy Dre opening things up by dashing into Food. It's not like he's doing, the standard, I'm going to take a jet up shot and then dash away and live. No, he's dashing at him. He's dashing at his face with a judge and just takes out the star player, opening up the A link, giving the plant on the A side. I mean, there's so many things that does. It's not just one frag. The opening frag of a round on that attack side does so much. It gave them the space needed for the Sheriffs to find more kills. And, I mean, your boy Dre he came up real big. Yeah, I mean, even once he picked up the Phantom, just taking out the last 2 right there. Huge round from him.
Yeah, just that one action from him with the paranoia on A link. That was everything. Very impressive. Again, we it's funny because the way we're talking about Luminosity, it's so stark such a stark contrast to how we were talking about Gen G or 100 Thieves and the way they were setting up things. We're like, oh, Luminosity are already struggling in these areas, but they still find a way to close. So if that's going to be the case, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, super quick long. We wanted to see them fight for this orb. Dre just runs through the smoke with a Reyna Lear, and he fights for it. The drone only spots your boy Dre. I think... Oh no! It spotted Thief!
Oh, that's huge, because then that means that Thief actually moves out of position, and MummAy catches him. What a clutch drone tag right at the end there, and that's an early 5v4. And Luminosity might speed up the pace now. You can see them walking through grass, walking through mid. However...
I mean, look, Dan, they've lost A again. They have no A control, no C control again. They have to go B. They have no choice. There's a trip in garage. There's a guy with a sight down A long.
Although so far no choice has been working out for them. We'll see if it's going to be ringing true here as well. Your boy Trey is going to be into the dark cover in A link. And again, is looking for that value there. As Finesse gives his position up, as he goes for the frag, the timing is found. But that Proto, he's actually insane. What a beautiful series of kills from him. And your boy Trey is still alive, doing damage. Food, though, in the mix on B. But they found his way onto the A side with the spike. Somehow in the chaos because of the path that your boy Dre cleared through that A-link position. Dark cover down, post-plant positions, not looking too shabby here.
There.
As Caboose comes through.
There.
Ooh, looks like they might have a good sense of what's happening here. This paint shot's going out. That's going to give some cover, actually, for Food to come out of that position A long. And it's going to work out really nicely, the distraction play. And it's up to your boy Dre. He said he's talented, but Food, he's got buckets of talent himself, and he'll win the day.
Wow. I mean, Envy needed heroics to win that round. A Proto, it's just whipping everywhere in the back of the B site. Takes off 3 heads. Unfortunately for him, one of them was the run it back from Food. So he takes out one player, but it really doesn't count for anything. This is incredible from a Proto.
Yeah, the 180 resets there are beautiful. Great mechanics. I mean, that's what he's known for too. That's what I mean, he plays Cypher, but he's known for that. And that's an amazing thing to have on your team. A player who's going to be alive late round, who's always able to just do insane things and turn the round on its head.
Ooh, this looks like we're gearing up for a C hit, Dan. And Dre probably wants that orb so that way he can get his daggers. Moose has his ult and insta-droning. So you can see there's Dre getting the daggers. Moose making the trip at the front of C. It's a big info, but Food aggressing. He is taking the fight right now to Luminosity.
Really smart, punishing the default there, Food. Able to get... Oh, no! The third kill's insane from Food! He's going to look for another one as well. He's already got that run it back up online again. I don't know how many that is at this point, Sean, but it's definitely helping out Envy massively. Food will swing for the last. The trade comes through from Crashies, and... what a timing Envy found there. That gap in the default, nobody in mid, in the early round timing, the walkout, the classic, works so well.
That was something. That third frag from Food was one of the most ridiculous whips. Oh, that's so fast. He's dealing with the daggers on a Jet too. That Jet could just easily cut space on him. Takes him out immediately. Switches over to the fourth. Man, Food's playing with a lot of confidence right now. That's something that a lot of people have criticized him for in big games in the past. So for him to play with that kind of aggression shows me that Envy is ready to, make a deep run here.
I just tried to Google what is food sensitivity after that one. you just get lots of allergy tests, so not worth it. Anyway, we'll see if they can keep that up, because right now, Envy are certainly managing to pull ahead here, 6-3 in favor of them, and another slow round from Luminosity on these defaults. Maybe that was something that they're a little bit afraid of now, just this confidence that there may be pushes early in the round from Envy. But as you say, once again, there's so little presence from Luminosity at these early rounds across C, mid, and A long.
They've got nothing. A short. They've got nothing right now. Look where Caboose is. It's allowing the rotate off of C. Look where Crashies is. It's allowing the rotate off of A. I mean, there's just a lack of map pressure, and even if they take out Caboose here, which they probably should, the rotate is so... I mean, it's going to take so long for them to get to the site. They're so far from it.
The food is there as well now. So, he's actually out of position. It's totally up to Caboose. Oh, the half clear. The half clear, but still it works out. And it's down to Food. He's going to get annihilated on the site. Let's run it back at least. Your boy Dre up on the sides. Now, backside control is not there this time for Envy. If you manage to hold onto backside, it bodes extremely well for the defenders. But this time, they don't have that to work with. Envy trying to go through Garage. A Proto is there to meet it. The lineup is there just for a moment, but Luminosity have so much firepower trained on these positions. They're not giving up anything. And your boy Dre, it feels like he's what we're seeing in the crosshairs of any defending player every single time, swinging out violently. And Luminosity will pick it up. And despite giving up all the map control early on, Sean, if they're still able to just walk to a site and close these rounds, it doesn't really matter that much. And Envy, you know, we might start to see more aggression from them, but there's not that many. Obviously, there's only 2 rounds left in the half now for them to try to punish this slow style.
Yeah, it's interesting because your boy Dre fell to that spot once before, and his approach this time was totally different. He ran past it, creating space for the person behind him, and there's pretty much no world where Caboose walks out of that situation alive. Great play from the duelist on the LG side.
Scary stuff there. Food. Shots. Oh, the bait setup though. Crashy is able to take down one. The dog, or rather, sorry, the Paranoia was ready too. So with that play around shot, Envy have actually put Luminosity into a position where they kind of have to reset things. You see the drone is forced there to get that info. Is there anybody A short? What do they know? And Crashies, he pulls out the Hunter's Fury. What a beautiful read in reaction to the drone, knowing that there might be someone following that in that position, trying to punish the Sova. And he's going to find one. Beautiful work from Envy.
Great job from him. And they get control back of this A long position. You see Food has the choke points, pushing up aggressively. They constantly just take this ground when it's given to them.
It's a huge angle. Food. He's going to find one. Another challenge comes through. The trade's good for LG, but again, so much to be done.
He knows both are by A, and look at the rotate coming in.
30 seconds left.
I don't think they can predict Crashy's angle. Crashy is going to clean up here.
There's just so much to worry about. There's just no time to worry about it as Crashies takes them down with the help of MummAy. And Envy are now 7-4. So it's looking really good. Had some scary situations, but it does seem like Luminosity struggle to create opportunities for themselves, and it feels like a lot of their plays are kind of desperate or without information.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, a lot of viewers are probably wondering, well, you probably don't need map control, right? After watching LG play. Well, the reason why map control is important is for situations like this not to happen, right? Where Food gets that aggressive early information, and by the time you get A, you know, his comm has gravitated 3 people there. And if you get the frag on him, he gets the comm that you're running back. I mean, they'll be all over C by the time you're there. You have to do a lot to win those type of rounds without map control. And Envy just played that perfectly. Very well played by Envy there.
Crashy's had the recon behind the cage on a lobby as well. Recon saw absolutely nothing, so he's able to assume that there's nobody there. You can see he's now kind of cheating towards the middle of the map, towards B, leaving A for retake. And I mean, that's so far the reads here from Envy are good. They got lots of players around C and B. And we've got the garage take through now from Luminosity. Plenty of time if they wanted to reset anything, but it looks like they want to go for that C split. But this defense looks very difficult to stop.
Yeah, how are they going to get past this crossfire between MummAy and Caboose?
There's a dash through. Caboose is not falling for it. He's letting that go. Letting it just near sight. It doesn't care. Very precise there, Caboose. And it's a slaughter here, Sean. And once again, it feels like it came down to just Luminosity not winning the battle with their default on early map control. And Envy took full advantage, finish off the half 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that crossfire would be hard to stop. But once that recon pinged 2 people in the C site, here's what a pro is thinking. Oh, the recon saw 2 people C. If 2 people are C, 1 guy has to be B, 2 people have to be A, maybe one's garage. Regardless, I'm not expecting a 3rd person on C, and I'm definitely not clearing the left corner if I get the info in a pro match that 2 people are backside. So you can see it, the second that happened, it was like the perfect scenario to activate Caboose. Oh man, that's unlucky for LG. Great read though, again from Envy.
And it's a different ball game now. We're on the defending side for Luminosity, so I think that they'll fare a lot better here. But with that said, Envy's defaults are very strong, so It all starts with the pistol, as we always say, and Envy are taking a slower approach for now. Seeing 3 frenzies actually on Envy, which is...
Yeah, similar setup though with the cam in mid for Envy. So FNS throws that cam, and then now Crashies is going to use a drone to clear out all of this close stuff in A. And the Cypher in A, Link, should hear the drone. So he's hearing the drone, but they're not biting because this is a full retake setup on A for LG, which is a great counter to what Envy's about to do.
Walking through garage. Options for C. Now as they start to walk through, playing the contact's going to come down to these fast-moving frenzy fights. Food is the first one in. Your boy Dre stops it though. That initial kill's huge, but the trades are coming through, and site control looks like it's going to Envy here. They've got it. They're going to get a spike planted. They're looking to go for that back plant, which is really good for long.
Spike planted.
Very good plant to defend. The boost trying to work that garage position again. That's some info.
Ooh, some info. They know one's garage. They hear the Sova spawn. They know exactly what's going on now.
Caboose looking after this position. What comes through. The timing is so critical. We'll be with Caboose this time around, and that's going to be a wrap, I think. There goes the paint shells denying entry for Moose. Got no health left. We'll try to get some extra money out of this one, though. Trying to at least deny MummAy entry. Oh, and he's going to actually take the frag, and if he could have delayed them long enough, maybe he would have even gotten some kills for the from the spike. But either way, will be Envy picking up the pistol.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate for LG because they had the right read. I mean, Envy did exactly what you would want, right? You stack the C side and the pistol. You have 3 people there, similar to what Envy had that last round of the last half. You want them to come C into the stack. But Envy's take was just gorgeous. The flash coming through, paint shells getting a frag, you know, the Lear, I'm sorry, the Phoenix flash. Everything just looked so polished that the 3 players couldn't find fights. Back to the same old with Food, farming these orbs, but he'll actually loan this one over to the Rays.
It's a gathering around garage right now. That's mostly where we see Luminosity players, and that's where they would like to make their stand. Of course, they need things to go. They need a bit of fortune here. They need some luck in terms of how Envy move around the map. But Envy are usually quite good at getting information and using their utility to keep themselves safe. And you can see the drone's going to be clearing some of these close positions down long. And if you go down long, you clear
for
this
short. Oh, that's beautiful.
Fake.
So Envy has all of the little things figured out, right? You don't want to go short A blindly on these eco rounds, going up against frenzies, shotguns, you know, all of these things in close range battles you don't want to take. So they send the boombot short A, but LG is not falling for this at all. They're falling right into the stack, Dan.
This is going perfect for Luminosity. You just have to hit the shots at this point. The paranoia, that's going to slow things down as well. And now you're starting to think, oh, there's a chance. There comes the Bucky from your boy Dre. And he's going to have help from this position as well. They might not expect 2 from there. MummAy will take down your boy Dre. Do they clear this now? No, not quite. There's 1 from Thief. Trays are coming through though from Envy. Thick and fast. And it's going to go their way for the 10-4 lead. That looks good though from Luminosity. They, as you said, Sean, they read that. They read that it was a fake with the utility around A.
Whew. Yeah. That was so scary, so scary. When the Bucky just plucks your duelist out right before the strat ever starts, and then you get paranoid, and then the recon comes. You can imagine what's going into those attackers. They're like, oh my god, that's at least 3 players at this side. All of those shenanigans at A, they didn't fall for it. Oh my goodness. But they have no map control. So they have to go forward. They have no choice because it's better to go forward into the known than go back into the unknown to clear all those angles out on the flank. Whew, that could have gone the other way.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And time is against you too. The less the time, the less properly you can, the less safe things can be for you. And I mean, Luminosity, they may have to play, I feel like, judging by the first half, they may have to play that stacking game, that game where they're not challenging as much, because it doesn't seem like they're as equipped to do that against Envy. And that's totally okay. That's a style of play that you can definitely go with. But maybe we'll talk more about that later as we see this bonus situation here for Envy. They've got a lot of Spectres, 4 Spectres in play. The Frenzy and Crashes as well. So not investing really anything extra into this one.
It's really not that good of a buy of Luminosity. If you look at Cellar, no TPs, no Lears on Thief. not much utility. The Cypher actually has full utility down already, so even though it says 0, he did full buy. But this isn't the best opening round. I mean, even the Cypher has a Guardian. Like, this is not a great situation for LG. Again, the same setup at A for Envy. The drone long, the boom bot short. You can hear it happening, and it's drawn your boy Dre to the A site. That is not the correct move. But it's so easy to be deceived.
Yeah, you'd want to find some way to confirm whether that's fake or not, but they just don't have the luxury to do it, so they have to gamble a little bit. And now Envy will make their way through Garage. Food is leading the way as always, trying to clear all these positions on the entry. And oh, Caboose has found his way onto that backside with the showstopper. He's slowing things down here for the defenders, and they're all stuck outside of the site. A huge gate now that has to be passed. And Caboose is the gatesman. He's got Food there for assistance as well. Oh, they might be able to get through this. There goes the trade, and just like that, only crashes against 3. Picks up the Spectre. This is going to be extremely difficult. These players are fairly healthy, and your boy Dre with the angle. And he's going to take down Crashies. So Luminosity, despite how rough that round kind of looked in many respects, and how little information they had, they come out on top with 3 players left alive.
Yeah, that was a great round for LG to, manage to start their comeback to get back in this game. And the one thing that I would really like to draw attention to is when Food was throwing that firewall, which is a great play once he gets it down, LG is swinging. They're very aggressive. That's what they do best. That's their style. So if they didn't swing past that firewall, I would be concerned. I would say they're shelling up. They're not in their, they're not doing their game plan. Regardless of the score, I like what I'm seeing out of LG because it shows me that they have the confidence to beat Envy playing their style.
Yeah, totally agree. Play through to a long here to challenge him. Your boy Dre's gonna have to fall back. He does have the daggers out, but he's lost Moose. And with that pick, even if Envy wanted to full send it to A, they can actually reset with this advantage. They can play the clock a little bit.
So you can see the boombot causes Dre to retreat off of short A. He was playing that Judge, and the close angle is a very powerful angle for a Judge. But the boombot, he knows it's going to push him back. He has to give it up. He's going back to long. I think he's going to think about re-aggressing here.
I think that's a good move because especially having impacted this portion of the round, given that they were a man down, it seems necessary. They need something, and your boy Dre is looking to deliver. He's the guy. They can make something happen, but there's 2 players long. He just did not expect that at all. Seeing short completely clear, it seemed as though his mind was expecting a completely different position for Envy, and they abuse the information play. Food takes down Stella, and now the site is completely given up. The spike's been planted, and it doesn't feel like Luminosity have anything to go and retake with.
Oh, so scary for LG now too, because they won that last round with 3 alive. Their economy can't be that great. They're going to have to save these 2 weapons if they have any chance of coming back into this game. So it's very important that these 2 players live throughout this 5-on-2.
There's so much time to hunt them down as well. And for Envy, there's not really that much risk. I'm not sure what their economy is like, but I'm certain that they can invest at least a couple players to find these frags. At least they've got some of the trips to rely on, but...
Yeah, while the hunt continues, the little CS trick is if 2 of your players die, 2 of the remaining players that live can drop them weapons. But if 3 players die, I mean, it's not like 3 players can live. You don't have 6 players on a team. So you can usually afford to, throw 2 people to the wolves and hunt those frags. But it is a little different in Valorant because when you hunt those frags in Valorant, you're not just, giving up frags. You're giving up ult orbs. So
yeah. You
have to be careful. You have to be very careful. It really depends on who you're hunting, where they are in getting their ult. There's a lot of things that go into play. And you can see Envy actually gave them respect and didn't hunt them.
We get a 3-man setup towards long. Luminosity looking to fight for a lobby control. It might work out for them, but the pace is actually fairly quick here from Envy towards Garage. With the long play, it actually might commit them in.
So aggressive.
Oh, this is brilliant. That's so smart from Moose. He knows his angles. He knows exactly what's going on. They're all in Garage at Proto. Able to find Crashies as he swings the window. And Luminosity, they read this play just quickly enough. They reacted just quickly enough to get the advantage in numbers. But they have to play that retake game now.
The aggression, Dan. The aggression. They're coming into spawn.
Envy not allowing them to set up here. There's a curveball to allow them to kind of cover the retreat. Thief is on the flank. If Thief gets distraction, if his teammates run distraction, he might be able to get some free kills, but MummAy has a great sense of what's going on here. Dashing into Moose. Your boy Dre is still alive in this 2-on-2. Retreating once again, trying to play the spike now. This is great work from Envy to try to win this round. The jump peeking comes through as well. Just the bait, setting MummAy up as he moves forward. The stick is coming. MummAy has to run for it, and the challenge from your boy Dre is strong. It's good. Finishes off the round. Luminosity. It's crazy, Sean, because I just keep feeling, I keep getting the sense like they're behind, but they find ways to win.
Yeah, that's the Jet Dash. The Jet Dash gifted LG that round. Caboose is in, what would this be called? Like the S tier, God tier off angle. Like I have never seen that angle retaking the C site. So he was going to get that frag on any agent, but the get out of jail free Jet Dash. You know, the Jet sees him and dashes away, and all of a sudden you're in an off angle in the middle of the open. Your angle is no longer even good. It goes from being the best off angle possible to an awful spot.
Your boy Dre, he's doing it again with a dash, able to take down one, reset for the next, but the question is, has he done enough? The push continues, and Thief, there's another duelist behind that one. And they are just taking the fight straight to Envy. This is an absolute brawl, but Crashies, there's nothing he can do. It's a very fast response, but Luminosity, they shut it down. And just like you said, Sean, when Luminosity are kind of losing in various elements of the game, whether it's information or position or map control, these kinds of things, but when it comes down to them finding spots to play their style, to get the swings in, to have the challenges, to have some setups, they're doing a great job. They're looking fantastic.
Yeah, they're so good when the rounds break down and like the chaos happens and the pure teamwork of comms and just working off of each other on the fly. I think LG is a better team in that scenario. But Envy in these early rounds is getting so many little edges that it's hard to see, you know, it's hard to be optimistic about LG because for the first minute of every round they're losing, and then for the last minute they're winning. It's very weird. It's polarizing.
This setup from Luminosity looks very good to deal with what Envy have in this eco situation. They're looking to, well, they were looking, it seemed like they were looking to get a C split going, but I don't know what made them call that off, but it was very good because they were about to walk into a 3-man setup, which I don't think they would ever be able to deal with. So resetting into a B play. Beef at the back of the site. Showstoppers available. This is a very winnable round for Envy, who's looking for a player backside. Thief.
Look at that one way. Oh my goodness, that's insane. That one way, the Omen one way, terrifies the C-Link player. That C-Link player just sat there, couldn't support Thief, got a free plant, and they have a showstopper to guard the defuse then, and paint shells.
Yeah, it's looking like this will be very difficult.
Oh no.
He's trying to get on top of the structure there.
And a Sova ult, and a shock dart. Dan, this is going to be a long time for this defuse can happen.
Oh, it's getting even worse now because the flank comes through from Finesse. Oh, he can't finish it off with the Frenzy. And Luminosity are getting all of the frags. There goes the Hunter's Fury. You're talking about the delay. You're talking about the power of the ultimates, but it's just crashing.
They missed it. It's over. Unreal. Unreal. I looked at the utility. I don't get it, Dan. I don't get they're all 5 alive. What has happened? Oh my goodness. It looked like Envy had all the perfect utility to play that post plant. And then when FNS just falls flat on that flank, you blink and they're all dead. Everyone's dead. Crashy's ulting. And it couldn't have played out better for LG because that was a wasted Sova ult, which is one of the most important pieces of utility in this entire game in my eyes.
Cover going out.
Envy 11-8 now, and they are not too far away from winning Haven and taking this first map in this best of 3. Again, loser of this series, this best of 3 series, will be eliminated from the tournament, from Masters.
Again, there's a one way on the left side of the site. The Boombot going A link. How do you even contest it? I love this little look from Envy.
Joke's over.
Oh, I have to look better than the last one. And they don't have the ults to rely on, so maybe that will make the difference. They'll actually try to focus on the fights instead. And Food is finding himself at least a proto. Caboose there, through with the showstopper, clearing A link. But Thief with that lurk through Garage is also going to be causing problems. There's not... Well, there's still a defense here on the side. These dark covers are extremely annoying. Envy there, able to defend this very nicely, and Luminosity, they can't break it. They cannot find a way inside.
That was such a 200 IQ hit from Envy. FNS might not have, had the prettiest round aim-wise, but that strategy coming in, right, with the Omen one way on the left side of B, the Boombot going right side. I mean, you can imagine how difficult that would be to hold for one player on the B side. If you're close, they're going to trade you out. If you're far, you're behind a one-way, or a Boombot's going to chase you down. There's not many options. And then they pop 2 ults on the post plant. They pop a run it back and the showstopper. They create tons of space in both A-Link and C-Link. That was beautiful from Envy. That was a gorgeous B take.
And now 1 round away from winning this map. Haven. Again, getting that C-Long control. I like the aggressive dark cover on A lobby coming in from Luminosity there. It's always a good one to suggest, or at least commit more utility for the attackers to have to clear A lobby again after that, because you don't know what could have crept up behind that dark cover. So you can see the drone has to come out straight away.
Ooh, your boy Dre is actually playing Heaven on a retake setup. This is very interesting. Oh, the drone's bottom. That's brutal actually. And the Omen all gets sent back. Oh, this is pretty much all on your boy Dre to hold this site right now, Dan.
And he looks like he might want to try to get into a more aggressive position. He has the dash available to get that kind of forward opening pick. Envy are looking like they want to commit to this. They don't have any presence anywhere else on the map. There's 40 seconds left. They're going to the A site. There is a Hunter's Fury available on Moose. We'll have to see if that comes into play in this one. Oh, your boy Dre's in trouble. Dash straight into the paint shells, and he's gone. A distant memory now, as Luminosity are going to struggle to retake. When does the Hunter's Fury come out? There it is. The lineup's coming through, and he's going to try to stop, delay the plant, and he's going to be able to do so. He takes down... Oh, he gets a second off of the Hunter's Fury, and Thief is lurking above in Heaven. And just like that, a 3 versus 4 hold is required from Envy. It's going to be tough. There's no utility to do it, but Caboose is ready for it. Able to get the paint shells back online again as he looks to hold the site.
Dan, they have no paranoia anymore.
He's holding the dark cover too. Caboose, he can end the round right here as he goes through for the challenge. Oh, that's insane from Caboose for the ace to get map 1 in the bag. Envy in style. They get it done with the Star Duelist. You wouldn't want to see it any other way, Sean.
That was insane. That second frag on the guy running through the smoke, the whip on him. I mean, Caboose didn't look in form early in that game. That was incredible. Some of the clips from Caboose and Food throughout that map, I mean, that's just, I don't even want to say duelist diff, because your boy Dre and Thief put up numbers as well. It looked like they're playing with confidence, but I mean, how do you beat that? How do you beat that, Dan?
It's insane, man. It looks like he has an aimbot. I'm not saying that he does. Of course he doesn't. It looks so mechanical. It's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful game there from Envy overall. I think Luminosity definitely showed that they weren't as prepared in terms of the way they were defaulting. They were losing the information game pretty reliably, but they did show that at any stage, even if they go into rounds with disadvantages, that they're very dangerous. So going into the next maps, Sean, I feel very excited for the prospects for Luminosity to be able to find a way to run it back.
Yeah, what is our next map? Is Ascent, right? Is that what our next map is in this series? It's all a blur. We're in our second series.
Yeah, I think so. I have to double check now as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be Ascent. Okay. So do you feel like that's going to be a better fit? Because I feel like it will be.
It's so hard to say. I mean, Envy is such a strategic team. I think we have to wait. I have some things I want to say about Luminosity, but I'm going to let the analysts go first, then we can come back.
Yeah, quick break, and we'll see you guys soon.